So we created a game that sits at the intersection of sports fantasy and sports gambling. It works, and it's a lot of fun. Armchair Quarterback is a real-time game where you predict the next play live during a broadcast. Simple and intuitive, predict whether it's going to be a run left, center, right, or pass short, medium, and long. We launched last December and played to 32 games. We know it works because our back end has processed over 25 million predictions. And we know it's fun because 70% of the players have made over 100 predictions a game and have played for over 3 hours every time they play. And the pro athletes love it, giving us an Athlete's Choice Award at the end of last season. But everybody would tell you that their game works and is fun. Armchair Quarterback solves a lot of pain for the largest group of advertisers in the US. Live sports is the most valuable place for advertisers to reach an audience. It's the only thing that people will not watch on delay. But the ratings are overly broadly generalized. Advertisers really don't know how many people watch their ad. They know how many people watch over the period. And compounding that clarity, or lack of clarity, the NFL estimates that 65% of all people are holding and watching their cell phone while they're watching a game. So advertisers don't know how many people they're reaching, and especially who is seeing their ad, but we do, right? Because we track every play, every prediction, every 30 seconds, we know at any point in time who's looking at the game and who's looking at every ad. A little complicated, and I can explain it out at the booth, but the red box is the first TV timeout, so we know exactly who would have seen commercials running at that period. I think Pac-Man took a real long break, right? So every time that there's an action, we track it, and we can then feed that information back to the advertisers. So more than that, we know their names, their email address, their age, where they live, and lots of behavioral information as well. So we know who the risk takers are, who the geniuses are, and we can feed that information back to advertisers so they can monetize that. So when we run an ad during a break, we know all those people saw it. So advertisers pay $600,000 for a 30-second spot on Sunday Night Football, and there's 120 commercials during a game. While on break, though, people are still holding their phones. So we're going to sell verified engagement statistics and advertisements to people during the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Why the playoffs? Because viewer stats are 3 times greater to 6 times greater during the playoffs, and the Super Bowl has 100 million people, and they pay $5 million for an ad. But we can do more than just run ads. We can sell product. End of the first quarter, order your pizza at lunch or at halftime. You can go with the national chains. We can go hyper-local through geo-targeting to let the local pizza guy compete with the national chains. We can also do trivia games, just like HQ Trivia, the $100 million valuation company. We can do trivia during halftime all day. And then importantly, since the Super Bowl 20, prop bets have crept their way into the public psyche, and to the point where they were 50% of the rake for casinos during last year's Super Bowl. So when you capture play-by-play data in 30 seconds, it's really easy to go back up the chain. And if you watch Fox and NBC, both have prop bets as part of their live broadcast now. So the big technology development we put in this year was you can play Armchair Quarterback to any game you're watching because cable's the fastest, but DirecTV, Hulu Live, AT&T Now, and YouTube TV all take time to process the cable broadcast and stream it. And that lag can be between 11 and 53 seconds, and it varies by network. So we've got the technology to match whatever you're seeing on the screen to the game in your hand. And it's the most advanced between the engagement metrics and the synchronization metrics. It's the most advanced gaming technology for play-by-play that you'll see out there. Because we can now sync to every game, last year we only did cable, now we open up the entire market of viewers. So our served market is basically everybody who watches a TV football broadcast, and and wants to do some betting. So a couple other points. We bought a company last year. It includes a patent that's instrumental to gambling and a 400,000 person database that we're marketing to. This is a chart. We're in 2019 now. The plan is just to sell advertising this year. Next year, do full advertising, get in casinos. And the big win in this thing is downstream when mobile gaming and casino gaming is widespread. I've been a CFO for 38 years. I've dismissed most hockey sticks. This hockey stick was enough to get me out of my day job and into the entrepreneur world. So at this point, we'll also launch baseball for 12 months of revenue. And at this point, we're just trying to raise another $200,000 to launch for the fall. We'll generate revenue, and hopefully next year we'll be back presenting in the afternoon. Thanks for your attention. I'm out in the patio, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks.
Any Q&A?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, Dan Pete. How are you?
Good.
Can you tell us who you are and your background and
Sure.
why this company started?
Personally, I've been a CFO for 38 years. First 20 with General Electric, going through their finance chain, back when that meant something. Then helped the company go public and started getting involved in sports. And so since my corporate world, I've founded one other company, Registration, which we sold to Active, bought a magazine, which we sold to a PE firm, went with a deal, took the valuation of the PE firm from 34 million to 220, exited, was consulting everybody in participatory sports, and I got tired of waiting for the next big thing to happen, and I sat there and watching football and said, I know what the next play is going to be, and did the research. This product didn't exist. Raised some money from some friends and family 2 years ago and launched bought Preplay and launched last December.
Hi, I'm Scott Alderton. Do you have any brief statistics you can give on metrics, downloads, active users, churn?
Sure. Yeah, the quick ones are last year. So if I go back, when we bought the Preplay database, we had these 400,000 people that had paid to play a game before. And so we only marketed to them. We had 700 downloads. About 350 people couldn't play. We could see them come into the game, get 4 plays wrong, and bounce out. And that's what made us think that we need to get streaming in. During the NFC championships and AFC games, we had about 70 people playing the game. And now during the new season, regular season's pretty sparse, right? So we are now launching an advertising campaign to go after the 400,000. A digital agency says they can match my emails to Facebook and Instagram, and so we're blitzing them this weekend to reduce our cost of new customer acquisition. We'll also be doing deals with the fantasy guys, RotoWire, advertising on SiriusXM, and a few other platforms. Oh, and local sports bars, we're going to geo-target sports bars. So if you go into a sports bar in San Diego, you're going to see an ad for Armchair Quarterback. And we did San Diego because I live there, but B, it's a small market. And based on the traction we get from somebody seeing a sports bar ad on Sunday, the carryover to Monday Night Football will dial in our cost per customer acquisition. Right now, it's still, I'm not sure what that's going to be. But I know that tech's done, and it's all revenue at this point.
Yeah, hi, my name's Nitin. Great idea. Any thoughts on your competition and what that might look like? Yeah,
so there is no competition because the fastest thing out there right now is prop betting. So there's no real competition, and we are an overlay to fantasy. So I can take our metrics and then hand them to FanDuel and DraftKings, and so we see ourselves as an overlay. I think once we get out there bigger, people will have to play catch up, and so I need to stay ahead of that. But I also have the patent. With Preplay, we got a patent that is instrumental. It's a foundational patent for calculating the multivariate odds of probability of the next play during a live sporting event, which is essentially what you also need for gambling. The business model works without gambling. That's the cherry, and that's 2 years from now. And so in order to get to the long run, you got to get through the short run. So right now, it's get revenue from B to C and B to B, but long stream, it's going to be gaming revenue. How'd you like to be the guy who's got the patent on the slot machine? Or video poker, the guy gets $15 a machine every day, right? I don't know how many machines there are, but That's the target that we're eventually getting to, but the model works as it's designed now.
This is Elliot. Does the company work as an advertising-only company, or do you have to get to the next revenue streams from the end users?
No, advertising's the easiest. That's the low-hanging fruit. The B2C, people are reluctant to pay for something that everybody sees as free. So next year, under full development, we'll do in-game purchases, several things on a B2C level. You'll get an avatar, and if you get a touchdown, your avatar comes out and slam dunks the ball. You can pay 50 cents to upgrade your avatar into the Color Rush, or 50 cents to do the Icky Shuffle, right? Just the stuff you see with Fortnite, right? I'm copying whatever I can. So we'll have some B2C revenue. Some people want highly intensive games, and they can pay to play that, as well as some people want the DraftKings model of, I want to put $5 in, and we want to split the pot of everyone. It's kind of a pari-mutuel gambling. So we could do that, and then a lot of people just want side bets too. So we'll have a layer of B2C. We'll have to run it outside the App Store because of the commission, as well as then the other B2B stuff, advertising. I like selling data, right? So if you're playing and you want to buy a hint, swipe left and 5 cents, I'll tell you what just like when you go in the casino, what's the book say, right? Well, this is what the book says Belichick's going to do at 3rd and 7 from the 24 with this much time left in the game and this score differential. So want to make money all over the place.
Okay.
Thanks. Sorry, I probably took 5 minutes of Q&A.